What's up guys and welcome to another track guide. This week we're at Laguna Seca with the Mercedes AMG for the GT3 series in low fuel motorsports. This combo offers the highest skill ceiling I've ever faced so far racing GT3s, and it can be super rewarding if you do things right. Racing should be very complicated, and I can imagine that much of the action for these races will come in the form of mistakes. So make sure you practice a lot before racing to not be the one making those mistakes. Just reminding you that our lovely YouTube members are getting access to all track guide contents with a 2-day head start compared to their competition. So if you want to become part of that group and support the work that I do, make sure you click the join button and don't forget to also join my Discord community to get the setups, ghost car, telemetry files, and all of the necessary information you need to schedule a coaching session with me, just like dozens of other LFM drivers have already done. Now let's get into the track guide. Coming into turn 2, place the car parallel to the white line to maximize braking performance and brake hard as the runoff on the outside begins. The reason why we want to have the car in a straight line for braking is because any steering movement will cause the ABS to intervene more than it should have to, and that will cost you time, consistency, and safety. The most important factor in getting this corner right is going over both inside curbs, treating this as one double apex corner. Secondly, minimum speed is very tricky here, and more often than not, you will find yourself either overslowing or overspeeding into this turn. But your ideal minimum speed point should look something like this. The gear ratios I chose for this track allow us to use first gear for extra rotation, and this car needs that because of the heavy engine sitting on top of the front axle. Before getting back on throttle, short shift into second to minimize the traction control intervention and mellow out the power delivery. For turn 3, brake harder than you would think is necessary between the number 2 and 1 boards. Condensing your braking zone here will help keep the car a bit more front-end limited and stable. For turn 4, place the car on the outermost edge of the track and follow the outside curb because it will give you the perfect line for this turn. Keep the car in 4th gear for this straight and brake hard just before the number 2 board. You should resist the urge to turn in too soon, because if you do that, there's a good chance you will run out of track on exit. A good reference point for your apex here is the red sausage curb on the inside. This corner can be very challenging to take at the limit lap after lap, but one reference that can really help you out is getting on the brakes as soon as the rest of the track stops hiding itself behind the top of the crest. Take it in 3rd gear, avoiding the red sausage curb on the inside and the gravel trap on the outside. Into the corkscrew, position yourself on the left side of the track before braking because the car will float over the hill, making you understeer towards the middle of the track, and we don't want that. Get on the brakes about a car length before the number 2 board and avoid getting to 100% pressure early on in the braking because of the elevation. By this point in the braking zone, we want to be all the way out on the edge of the track so we can straight line the exit of the corkscrew. Now get the car down into 1st gear and cut the first left-hander as much as possible without invalidating your lap, which should be driving with your right side tires over the inside curb. Before the track starts going down again, straighten your wheel at the top of the crest and don't be afraid to get on throttle hard. Since we are in 1st gear, it doesn't give you enough wheel speed difference between the front and rear tires to get you into an oversteer moment. That plus traction control means you can lean on the throttle without worrying too much about losing the car. For Rainey curve, always stay on the lower half of the track width because otherwise the banking might not hold you in the corner. Lift off the throttle at around this point in the turn and aim for a really late apex going really close to the red sausage curb on the inside, where you will then get back on throttle. This turn is deceptively tight for this car, so don't be afraid to overslow. Brake between the number 2 and 1 boards and use the brakes for rotation here, as the downhill nature of this corner makes the front tires not respond that well through the steering. For the last turn, brake hard at the number 2 board and wait until you've cleared the inside curb to get back on throttle. So that was a lap around Laguna Seca with the Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo, and I hope this track guide was helpful to your week of racing in low-fuel motorsports. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the hot lap.